All right, good morning. The pardon board is called to order. Today is Monday, November 17, 2025. Time is 9:02 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renassa, serving as chair today. I'd like to ask for a roll call, please.
Ms. Renata,
Here.
Ms. Stapleton,
Here.
Mr. Prater,
Here.
Mr. Tillman,
Here.
Mr. Freed.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We are at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. I'd like to get the staff here at headquarters. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Bill Cavalier.
Daphne Thompson, Chiquita Prater, Carla Lynn.
Francis Abbott.
All right. Our first item on this morning's agenda is review and approval of the minutes from Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Those are included in your packets. Are there any corrections? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Prater, second by Mr. Freeman to approve the minutes from Thursday, October 30th, 2025 as presented. Is there any objection? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. And so we're ready to start our regular business. The next item is consideration of application for clemency or pardon. And we will allow public comment on requests before any action item. So our first remote location this morning is at Catahoula Correctional Center. Mr. Augustine, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Are you, is there an officer in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Tanya Stevenson, the transition specialist.
All right, thank you, Ms. Stevenson, for accommodating us this morning. So, Mr. Augustine, would you introduce yourself, tell us your name and DOC number?
I'm Anthony Tyrone Augustine, DOC number 430160.
All right, Mr. Augustine, I'm just going to read some identifying information into the record. I'll ask you to verify if it's correct, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Prater, seated to my immediate right. Your case has been assigned to him, so he'll take it from there. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Augustine, you're here this morning seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in the 12th Judicial District of Boyles Parish in August of 2000 for a manslaughter conviction. You received a 40-year sentence. You do have a good time date, which is December 23rd, 2033. Is that information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Prater.
Okay, Mr. Augustine, how are you today?
I'm okay, sir. How about yourself?
Okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Okay, we've got a number of people here that are in opposition, and we'll get to those in just a minute. But what we like to do as a board, we like to find out a little bit about you and a little bit about your history since being incarcerated, how you've done, and what you think about the crime. And then we want to hear from somebody from Catahoula there, if there's anybody there that would be willing and knowledgeable to speak about your behavior at the institution. So to begin with, Mr. Augustine, would you tell us what got you put in jail and what you think about the crime and what you've been doing since then?
Well, February 2021, I committed a horrible crime that, I wish I could take back, but I took the life of a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and I hold myself accountable for the actions that I have done. But since my incarceration, I have taken numerous classes, such as substance abuse, anger management, cage and rage, thinking for a change. I have several Bible courses at colleges that I've completed and graduated from, GED. But like I said, I'm holding myself accountable for what I have done, and I have worked hard constantly and still working daily to become a better person, a better man, a better brother, a better father, a better friend,
Okay. All right. Well, that pretty well wraps up your statement. You've covered all the high points of what I wanted to hear. Let's hear somebody from Catahoula who's in the room there with you? I'm sorry, I missed the name.
Tanya Stevenson, the DOC transition specialist.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know this fellow very well and how he's behaved since he's been there and how long has he been there?
I'm not sure how long he's been here, but he has no behavior problems. He was a trustee here at the main facility, but he's at the parish jail where he is a trustee there.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that information.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, let's move on now to those folks. We don't have anybody speaking on your behalf that have signed up to speak, but we have a number of people to speak against this request for commutation of your sentence. And so we'll begin. We have three people that will be speaking. We have Kia Greenhouse Allen, we have Cheryl Lewis, and we have Casey Greenhouse. They will be speaking. Now, there's a number of people that are here in attendance, and I don't know if you can see them or not, but it's J-Nex Greenhouse Jr., LaShawn Dixon, J-Nex Greenhouse Senior, Marie Jacobs, Keitha Greenhouse, and Kim Greenhouse are also here, but they will not be speaking. They're just here for support and or support of each other, I would say in opposition of your request. So between Kia, Shara, and Casey, I will let y'all decide who will be first. When you speak, would you go to the podium? Please speak up so we can hear you good here at the board and on the microphone, and tell us what you have to say as far as your opposition. So whoever would like to go first, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sheree Lewis.
Okay, and let me apologize. I'm sorry, you were on Zoom, and I was introducing the folks that were here also. Yes, ma'am, you're on Zoom, and introduce yourself again.
My name is Sheree Lewis,
Okay,
and I'm Sabitra's best friend.
okay. And tell us why you're in opposition for this.
Basically, because and I hear when he says that yes, he want to change, that he change and becoming a better person, but on the other end of it, he gets a second chance. Like he gets a second chance at life or whatever. My friend don't get a second chance, and he was selfish. I mean, he took a selfish move. You took her because of being selfish, and you left her child there with her, and yet you think you deserve another chance, which no, I'm not God and I'm not doubting that, but I'm just totally not, no, not for it. No.
Okay. All right, Miss Lewis, we appreciate you taking time to give us your thoughts on this. Miss Allen or Miss Greenhouse, who would like to go next?
I'll go next. Hello, my
Okay.
name is
Okay.
my name is Kia Greenhouse Allen. I am the cousin of Sabitra Allen. I wrote a statement. I would like to express my strong opposition to the potential parole of Anthony Augustine for the murder of Sabitra Greenhouse. His actions not only resulted in the tragic loss of an innocent life, but they also left a lasting void in the lives of her daughter, Casey, and our family. Sabitra was murdered in her parents' home, a place that should have been a sanctuary. With this brutal act, Anthony robbed his child of her mother, leaving her to grow without the love and guidance that every child deserves from their parents. This senseless act of violence not only affected the victim, but has had a profound and painful impact on our entire family. Anthony does not deserve a second chance in society. His crime was not just a moment of anger. It was a calculated decision that shattered so many lives. I can never forget the words of the priest at her funeral. He stated that these were not the actions of a man, but that of a beast. The consequences of his actions are lifelong and cannot be undone. I urge you to deny his request for parole, as releasing him would bring injustice not only to the memory of Sabitra, but also to our family, and the community that continues to suffer from this loss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for taking time to be on Zoom with us, and we'll continue on then with the opposition. Now, Miss Casey Greenhouse, who is here at headquarters. Miss Casey, would you go up, Miss Greenhouse, would you go to the podium? There you go. Introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind.
My name is Casey Greenhouse. To the honorable members of the Louisiana Clemency Board, my name is Casey Greenhouse, and I stand before you as the daughter of Savitra Greenhouse, who on hate crime was committed against on February 21st, 2000, at the age of 18, by my biological father, Anthony Augustine. I am here today because my father murdered my mother. I was only 6 months old. The story I have of that horrific day is that my mother was sitting in the same room with me, working on her schoolwork so she could graduate high school and create a better future for the both of us. I was told she was young, hopeful, and determined. She was doing everything right, working hard for her life and for mine. But all of that was taken from her when he I was left in the room beside her lifeless body. I was found only because my aunt unexpectedly became ill at school and had to return. I cannot imagine how long I would have remained in that house, alone with her if my aunt had fallen ill that day. That is how my life began. Not with safety, not with love, but with violence, trauma, and a sudden parents. My 6-month-old life began with the loss of both my parents because of his choices. I grew up without a mother and without a father who should have protected me. Childhood. I spent my childhood wondering what my mother's voice sounded like, what her laugh sounded like, whether my smile looked like hers, whether my sh came from her, there was, and basically, but I would never know because she was silent before I ever had to remember her. My mother never had the chance to record videos, take pictures, or leave behind the way people do today. One of the most painful of many things I grew up with was the longing to hear my mother's voice. I would wonder what she sounded like, and then it would hit me. At least he still has a voice to this day. Yet my mother remains silent, and forever will remain silence. No videos, no saved messages, nothing. I grew up watching other children make Mother's Day cards, but I had no mother to give one to. I watched other girls have their hair brushed by their mothers, get help picking out dresses, get cheered for school sports graduations. I never had any of that because I was robbed from my mother. She wasn't there for any birthdays of schools, my birthday, my heartbreaks, my first job, my college applications, my adult decisions, any milestones that should have been shaped by my mother's love. She should have been here. She should have been there for my wedding one day. She should have been there to help me prepare for motherhood when the time comes. She should have had a chance to be a grandma, but she won't, because that was taken from her. Every single holiday, celebration, and ordinary day has been marked by her absence. I grew up emotional anxiety, sadness, and a deep abuse that words can barely describe. My entire identity was shaped by a crime I did not choose, a loss I could not stop, and a moment I was too young to remember, but will spend the rest of my life healing from. Act did not just take my mother's life, it destroyed 2 families. My grandparents, aunts, and uncles raised me through their own grief, walking on eggshells, so they didn't speak out with anger about my father. For 26 years, emotions, trauma, and unspoken pain were bottled up so that they would not hurt me further. They had to comfort a crying baby one morning, their murdered daughter and niece. No family should ever endure that. His family suffered because of his choices. They lost him as well. This was not just a crime against one person, it was a wound that spread across generations. In 2020, I received a letter, and in that letter, there was no apology from my father, no explanation, no accountability. Nothing that acknowledged the lifelong pain caused by your choices. Wrote that you love me, but I must ask, how could you love me, leave me alone in a home with a woman's lifeless body? Where was the mercy in that letter for me? Where your actions? There was not a sense of remorse to that day that could be sensed at any point in that letter. How could you claim you love me while abandoning me in the darkness? Most terrifying moment a child could ever experience. Growing up when I struggled with depression, while wondering why not me instead of her, And even worse, I feared that when you got out, you might come back and finish what you started. That fear existed and continues to exist because of what you did. How can I form a bond with someone who never cared about me from the beginning? How can I trust you? How can I open my life to someone who hurt my husband in front of me and abandoned me immediately after? It loved me so much. Why did you just walk away from the relationship? I think you choose freedom and raise me like a father should. Instead, you chose violence. You chose this. You chose to destroy our family and the future I should have had. And now we're here. For your child, your daughter, forced to stand before a clemency board, begging, pleading, fight for her mother because of the actions of her own father. I'm pleased to agree or release or to do any kind of bond with someone who never cared about me from the beginning. Someone who robbed everything that mattered the most in life. That is not love. Today, the man who caused all of this pain is asking for clemency, asking for mercy, but I ask this board, why was the mercy for my mother? Why was the mercy for me? The 6-month-old baby left crying beside her body. Why was the mercy for either of our families who have carried this trauma for decades? Mercy was never granted to us, to her. Why should it be granted now? Where was the clemency when she was carried by 6, while you were still breathing and had opportunity to be judged? Clemency cannot bring my mother back. It cannot restore the life she was building. It cannot give me the childhood I lost. I never heard, or the memories I never got to make. Instead, her questions destroyed our created generational trauma and forced me to lifetime and answer questions. For 20 years, I've lived in an emotional roller coaster, begging, pleading, and fighting for justice for my mother, because the person who should have protected us chose not to. This has shaped our life. And today I speak it to honor what we lived through and ask for justice that reflects that reality. Great mercy, not be justice. It'll be different to the lifelong consequences of his choices. Clemency cannot undo what was done. It cannot bring my mother back. It cannot give me the chance to hear her voice, to hug her, to know her love. Granting clemency in this case would not be just. It would erase accountability for a choice that was both selfish and irreversible. I have lived every single walking day with the weight of this tragedy. For all these reasons, I stand before you, requesting you to honor my mother's life, honor her dreams, honor the silence she left behind, a silence created by violence, not choice. Let justice remain firm because of mercy. I restore us. I respect from the earth's support to deny clemency. That is the only mercy that remains. Let justice remain firm because mercy was already stolen from us the day she was murdered. I would like to thank you all for this opportunity to stand before you and have a person, my mother.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the reading that to us. And we also have been supplied that letter and read it. And I honestly had to take a break from studying my cases after I read that letter because that was tough. Well worded and good letter. So thank you. And while I'm talking to you, I'd like to give a special applaud or whatever to your grandparents, the ones that raised you, stepped up for you. You had wonderful sports. Okay, back to you now, Mr. Augustine. I guess you heard what your biological daughter had to say. And before we get into this part, which is the question and answer session from the board, but I'll lead that off and then we'll see if they have any questions. Also, I want you to understand, we have read your file, so there's a lot of things that didn't come out in our interview. The fact that you are a first offender, I want to acknowledge that. This was your first felony arrest, that you did get your GED. You said that in your opening statement, but I saw that and I was particularly impressed by that one of your supervisors there in the work release, I believe it was, but the security supervisor there did write a good letter since they've known you, which is the time you've been incarcerated, that you've been a model prisoner. And I know that, and I can look at your face and I can tell that you are remorseful in all of your statements. But also, you need to know that the DA, the sheriff, and the sentencing judge were all opposed, and all of the victim family was opposed also. So anyway, I don't really have a lot of questions to ask you. You got a 40-year sentence on a plea bargain, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you served how many of those 40 years?
25 years and 9 months.
Okay, and you'll be getting out, a good time date is in 2033,
Yes, sir.
regardless of our decision today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Just got one question. I saw you lost 45 days of good time, but I didn't see no DB reports. What you lost that for?
Well, I got transferred to Winsboro, Franklin Parish, and it's a 6-man cell, and they came down to shakedown because they got a tip that a guy had a phone. So when they found the phone in the cell, that nobody owned up to the charge, but everybody got charged
In the
for
cell.
but I got it restored, and when I went to court, I beat the charge, got dismissed, and I got the
Okay.
45 days restored.
So it wasn't drugs, it was a cell phone.
No, yes, sir. But
All
on
right.
my route sheet, I have it. It showed that it was restored because it was.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Is that all you got, sir?
That's it.
Anybody else got any questions?
I got one. I got something that I noticed on your commutation application, which goes back to, I didn't hear you say you took any crime victims, awareness classes when you were talking. I might have missed it or something. Did you get anything that said crime victim awareness?
No, ma'am. The facilities that I was at, they didn't have that program, that class.
Okay, well, I did notice that after all these years, when you put in for your commutation, it asked what was the reason, in your own words, for the offense. And one of the things that you say is because I just couldn't bear having my only child taken away from me for no reason besides her daughter's mother being spiteful. So, I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't recall that right there.
You don't recall that? Well, that was part of your statement, so maybe you want to kind of rethink that. That was something that stood out to me. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I don't see any other questions, Mr. Augustine, so I think we are prepared to vote. Mr. Prater voted first.
Okay, because of the victim opposition, which was very touching because of the other law enforcement opposition, because of the fact you took a plea bargain, and because of the fact that you gonna get out earlier than expected anyway, and you took a plea bargain 40 years and you took someone's life, I don't think you've served sufficient time. Although I wanna tell you, I'm impressed with your behavior and the efforts that you've made there. So I don't want to leave you without hope or anything, but I do honestly feel like that you need to go ahead and serve some more time.
Mr. Freeman,
I concur with Mr. Prater.
Mr. Tillings,
I agree with Mr. Prater.
Mrs. Stapleton.
I concur, Mr. Prater.
All right, Mr. Augustine, received 4 votes to deny your application today. So today your application for commutation's been denied, sir. Good luck to you.
Well,